Now, there is a way to set up to the golf ball that I prefer to see every single senior golfer set up like, or any golfer who suffers with poor hip mobility. And that is setting up to the golf ball like this. Having the back foot dropped back just a little bit there. Why I like this so much is because this helps senior golfers or golfers who have poor hip mobility still turn in the backswing. So get a nice hip turn because it gives you that little bit of almost a preset hip turn, but also encourages the hips to move a little bit deeper. So I see so many golfers, whether they're senior golfers or just lacking mobility, have a forward movement, even though it might be very slight, of the right hip going into completing the backswing. So when that happens for players with that right hip moving forward, it tends to then continue to move forward into the downswing. So that'll be early extension. Then you won't be able to really move your body in a rotational sense with however much rotation you can get. So you'll be losing that bit of power. So then all you need to do then is just swing your arms through. You're not going to be having that much speed applied to your shot. And of course, for golfers who have, let's say, a little bit poor mobility wise, can't use the hips all too well, being more predisposed to using the arms is going to be a little bit more out in front of you, a little bit more out the top, a little bit more slicey of some ball flights. So dropping that back foot just back a little bit helps tremendously for these golfers. Gives you that bigger turn, gets that hip move a little bit deeper, which primes the hips, especially the left side, to start to move back in a downswing, start to clear a little bit easier. So that's absolutely brilliant. And also, of course, because you'll be standing a little bit almost closed off with your foot line, it's going to help that chest and those hips, especially the chest, not open up quite so fast. So you're going to be swinging the club on a little bit more of an inside path. So if you wanted to hit a little bit longer of some draw shots out there, drop that back foot back. And you're going to be having that little bit of a bigger turn, a little bit deeper of a hip turn also. And then you're going to be swinging a little bit on more of an inside path rather than from out to in. But that's not all it helps with. It really helps with how the body is positioned into the downswing. So with that back foot dropped back a little bit, it actually forces a little bit more weight onto the lead side. So when we start to have that upper body, let's say for a player who backs off the shot, that feels very uncomfortable when you have that right foot dropped back. It's quite unstable to be doing that. You feel like you're going to lose your balance. So the upper body starts to stay more on top of the lower body as we turn and shift on the downswing. What that's really going to help with is controlling your low point. You're going to be hitting your lowest point, especially with irons here, a little bit after that golf ball. So absolutely brilliant for good ball striking. So again, this is a drill that I'll give to a lot of players who suffer with upper body falling back. I'll do this really quite extreme. I'd have them almost on their back foot like so, just so they can stay a lot more on top of the golf ball and on top of the lower body as they're turning through. Great drill for that. We don't need to do it that extreme. We just want to drop it back just a little bit. We could do it with irons. We could do it with driver. It'd be brilliant for all of them. Awesome. Just makes golf a little bit easier. If there's a movement pattern that you can't necessarily do too much, just set up in a way to where you can help yourself. We always want to make golf easier. We don't want to make golf harder. So if you need to do that, play around with it. This is a feel a lot of golfers in general have played around with, and they're obviously not too sure sometimes whether it's right or wrong. But it helps you, and you're not doing things in, let's say, a compensating type of way. It's good for your golf game. So if you struggle with that hip depth in the backswing, maybe you struggle with a little bit of early extension, maybe you struggle with swinging a little bit over the top, drop that back foot back, make golf a little bit easier for you. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button. For more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.